Hey yo, what's up my people? How are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Bayo Adio. I am a Nigerian American that currently vlogs about his travels and adventures, but right now I am currently discussing all things Lagos, Nigeria. So today I'm getting ready to pack for Nigeria again, but this time for a quick short trip. I have a few things to handle. And I decided, you know what? This is actually a good opportunity for me to share the things that I am packing this time, that I am much more experienced because I learned so much from the last time that I traveled, and I had a lot of regrets of things that I should have done or things that I should have thought about prior to. So I am going to share all of these experiences with you. Grab your notes, take some time, and enjoy my long list of things that I feel like you should get prepared if you're planning to make a trip to Nigeria. I'm sure some of these things you've probably never heard of before. And towards the end, I'm going to share some travel hacks with you that I think is going to be highly beneficial as well. All right, I broke this down into multiple categories. The first category is documents that you need. The second category is technology, like technology preps and apps that you need. The third one is electronics. And the fourth one is like your miscellaneous and personal items. And then lastly, I'm going to share some of my travel hacks and tips with you. All right, so let's just get started. So obviously, you need a passport. So if you have a foreign passport, then obviously you need to apply to try to get a visa in order to enter Nigeria. But double check to see if you can come to Nigeria visa free. If not, definitely you have to get a visa. But if you're a multinational like me, you can just come home with your Nigerian passports. Make sure to double check that it hasn't expired. Although they might still let you in if it's expired. So obviously that's document number one. Document number two, of course, your flight tickets and your reservation. You guys already know that. You need that. Immunization wise, you need a yellow fever vaccination. So this is a vaccination card that I have. You need that to be able to enter. And throughout this video, you're going to hear a little bit of surprising things. And this is one of them, a passport. So I learned last time that they require a passport for almost anything. So if you're going to Nigeria for the first time or you're going back, if you want to open up a bank account or if you want to get your INN number or you want to renew your passport, for some reason they're always asking for these passports. So if you don't want to run around, I think it's probably wise that you have a few of them. You don't necessarily need this to travel with, but I think it's smart to pack it with you and just do it here and get it over with. So those are the four things documents wise. Now, since I'm doing this video in 2021, we're in the middle of the pandemic. So now you need more additional documents besides your passports. So one of the requirements in order to go to Nigeria is you need to have a COVID PCR test. You need to test negative, and you need to print out that document to show that proof at the airport before they can let you in. In addition to that, you need to be able to register on the Nigerian International Travel Portal. And I think the website is called nitp.ndcdc.gov, something like that, .gov.ng. And then what that is you fill out like a health screening, and then you upload your COVID test, and then you also print out this permission to travel document that has the barcode that you're going to scan when you get to the airport as well. So now you have two additional documents that you need to bring. Let me show you guys what this looks like. This is a COVID test document that I have. Here's another COVID one. This is one of my barcodes things that you have to print out. And this is the receipt that I paid. Guys, in going to Nigeria, and I tried to because I want to make sure that I'm prepared. So I printed out the receipt, I printed out the PCR test, I printed out the declaration form, I printed out the confirmation email. I literally have everything that they need. So make sure that you have that when you're traveling. Another document is that you guys might not have thought of is your birth certificates. So I realized that they needed this for a lot of the transactions that I was doing, some of the things that I was doing. So I think I would advise you to just bring that with you just in case you need it. And then if you are returning, it's probably better that you have your NIN slip that has your NIN number. If you haven't gotten your NIN, try to get it before you come back to Nigeria. Those type of things. So those are the things that you need documentation wise. But keep in mind, you have to get your COVID-19 test done 96 hours before your departure time. One thing that I came across recently, which is weird, because I went to the airport and as I tried to kind of board my flight, they told me now that there's a new rule by Germany, which is like, because I was connecting through Germany to go to Nigeria, now they're saying that Germany has their own COVID-19 test policy, like procedure. Like you have to have a negative COVID-19 test 48 hours before transiting through their country. So literally they denied me boarding that connection flight because I only had the requirements for Nigeria and it was different. So I had to stay an extra day to get another rapid test in order to be able to connect through Germany to go to Nigeria. So be aware of that, double check to make sure so you don't miss your flight like I did. All right, so that is the document section. So now let's talk about the technology prep. So first of all, make sure that you watch my video, go to my Life in Lagos playlist and watch the video called the 10 apps that you need in Lagos, Nigeria, something like that. I listed all these apps and why they're important, but to give you a rough idea, the most important one, well, they're all kind of important, but the biggest one is that before you leave your country to go to Nigeria, I made this mistake. Download these IMTO apps to transfer money like World Remit, Bus Revolution, Sendwave. Make sure that you, like I'm from the USA, so I should have downloaded it from the US before I went to Nigeria, because when I was in Nigeria and trying to download these apps for the first time, they were the apps were telling me this app cannot work in this country. This app is not enabled in this country, and I was never able to actually log into the app. Then I had to use a VPN to get around that. So ideally, and some of the apps still wouldn't work with a VPN. So ideally set up your World Remit payments app in your country before you go to Nigeria. Connect your card, do everything that you need to before you leave. So that's one technology hack for you. Cash App, everything that you need to do. Number two, make sure that you have your online banking set up. Whether it's with if you opened up your bank while you're here in the US with a Nigerian bank, like your domiciliary account, Naira account, or your bank here, make sure that you have your login, your passwords. Make sure you download your app, you're able to log in, because if you're not taking a lot of cash with you, you can easily, transferring is very popular in Nigeria. So when you get there, you can easily transfer money to people rather than paying them in cash. So that's one thing that you can get ready technology-wise as well. Another thing is passwords. So forgetting your passwords in Nigeria is not a good thing, because now they're thinking somebody's hacking into your accounts from Nigeria and trying to change your password, and there's going to be a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. So I would say LastPass, LASTPASS.com is an app or browser that I use to store all of my passwords. So that way I never forget it and I can always refer back to it. Matter of fact, I will post the links to all this stuff in the description of this video. You can always click on the link to learn more about them. And then, of course, WhatsApp is going to be your best friend. People communicate quite a bit with WhatsApp, so you can communicate. Make sure that you download it, you have it set up, you're familiar with how it works, because a lot of people communicate with WhatsApp rather than using their phone credit in Nigeria. And you can also use this to communicate with your relatives and your friends overseas as well. So WhatsApp is a good one to have. Now, another app that's probably good for you to have ahead of time, depending on how independent you want to be, you can download Uber or Bolt. So that way, if you can't get a ride for somebody to pick you up from the airport, you can actually be independent and call a Bolt right from when you're at the airport. and have them just take you directly to your destination. That works as well. Now, lastly, I hope this is not a little bit too techy, but one of the challenges that I had when I was in Nigeria, remember guys, I told you guys I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of somebody working from Nigeria, was this two-factor authentication stuff that would happen occasionally when you log on to different platforms, whether it's your email or Gmail or PayPal. They would want to confirm with you to see, or Facebook, to they want to send a code to your phone number through text to see if you are the right person logging onto your accounts, because they're sensing that you're in a different country. So if you've already deactivated your phone from US or wherever you're coming from, you're not going to be able to consistently get this text notifications. So what I was doing is I was switching SIM cards back and forth to get the text and then be able to log into the account and then switch it back to Nigeria. So the easy way to get around this is to download a Authenticator app. So I'll put this link. Google Authenticator is one of them, and LastPass Authenticator is one of them. Some apps use token. So that way, when you log on and it recognizes that you're in a different place, some apps have an option to where you can just tell them the code that pops up on your Authenticator app, and then you can put that on there, and then they'll use that to let you in. So again, just another quick hack just in case you've ever had that issue. So that is the things to be prepared for technology-wise. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about electronics. So electronics, I have a lot of electronics. So I'm going to share some of the things that I take with you guys. Number one, an unlocked phone. So my phone that I use is actually unlocked to work anywhere in the world. It's a Google Pixel, but I'm a cheapo. So this one is cracked, it's old. I think it's time for an upgrade. I typically don't jump on brand new upgrades of phones. I have better things to do with money. As long as the phone works, it's fine. But guess what? It was time for an upgrade. So I finally upgraded to another unlocked phone, and this is a Google Pixel 4. I'll tell you why I'm putting much more emphasis in this. Because I work, one of the hacks, and if you've watched one of my videos, that I have found to get consistently fast internet is instead of using the mobile modem from the company that they use, I actually just get a data plan, a SIM card, and I put it onto my phone and use that to broadcast the internet that I use for my video calls. I just decided to try it and it worked. And when I compared it, when I used their modem, some of them would get 5 to 10 megabytes, but when I use my phone, it would get up to 40 to 60 megabytes, or sometimes up to 100. So I'm wondering, maybe sometimes it's not the network, but it's the quality of the modem that you're using to project it. I don't know. So this time I'm gonna have two. I'm gonna have one for calls and one for broadcasting my modem while I'm working, because sometimes when I'm on a video call and somebody calls me, it cuts off the call and interrupts it. So I feel like I need two. Or I'll have one for US, one for Nigerian phone number. I haven't figured it out yet. But long story short, you need a wireless modem or an unlocked phone that's at least 4G. Now, this is what I used last time when I was in Nigeria, so I still kept it. It's a 9 mobile app. 9 Mobile was, it's a 9 Mobile modem. This was one of my favorite phone data companies when I was in Nigeria. It was very consistent for me, and it delivered very decent speeds for me to use. So I took it with me, and I'm going to be using it when I come back. The way it works is you put your SIM card in the back of the battery here, bam, and then it broadcasts a Wi-Fi signal that you can use to get on the internet. So yeah, so I have this. A wireless modem would be good, but if you're just getting there and you don't have that, totally, you can use your phone. All right, so now you can also get a general 4G Wi-Fi hotspot modem from anywhere in the world. Go on Amazon and order it as well. Now, I can't close this thing. Let me put it to the side. Of course, you need an adapter is the next thing. but ideally an adapter that converts as well. So I made sure that I got this that's multifunctional. It works in different countries actually. So they have the countries on the side. If you're in the UK, if you're in Japan, Europe, it'll tell you the different switches to use. And as you put it in that switch, it would allow you to bring the stuff out. But for Nigeria specifically, they use more of this square rectangular prongs things. But also, I can switch it if I don't want to use this. And I'll tell you why multifunctional is better. Let me switch this to Europe, for example. So let's just say you want to use something else that's not the square one. You can change it to the country and you can use this. Now this one would work for like an American plug, I think. And then they also have this round one that I can't quite figure out now. But you get the idea. The reason why the multifunctional one is important is that, well, you can get multiple adapters or you can just get a multifunctional one, is that when you're connecting on a flight in somewhere else. So maybe you're going to Nigeria and you're connecting through France, but France doesn't use this Nigerian style adapter. You have the adapter to be able to use it for the France outlets at the airports. So that's why having a multiple one is good. So this is also another one that I have. So I make sure to always get one that kind of converts it. This one also has a USB, which comes in very handy. So if you can get one that has a USB, it's even better. Now, the other thing that you need electronics-wise is a power strip. So this is one thing that I regretted not bringing with me. Actually, I had one, but because of my family, we had to share where we use this. This is not enough to power a lot of your equipment. But also, they have a lot of these in Nigeria, but all of them are just not good quality. They're always sparkling. They're always like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't find good qualities in Nigeria, so I decided I'm going to bring an extra one this time. Now, in addition to it being like where you can plug multiple things on, it also serves as a power surge as well. So maybe when it's raining or some sort of bad weather is happening, or the NEPA took the light off, it would at least protect your equipment from not from not blowing up or disrupting. So I would say power surge, like plug, is good. So what I typically do is I plug this in and then I plug this in. Bam. And also, I know that this would work for all of my American appliances that I have, whether it's my phone, whether it's my computer, whether it's my speaker, whether it's my charger, everything is here. So that is one hack. Don't always only focus on adapter. Try to get a power strip as well. All right. Next thing, as you all know, power is unstable in Nigeria, although I typically tend to go to places that have 24/7 electric because I have to work. So I typically get an Airbnb that has a 24/7 option with backup generator and inverter. But nevertheless, you always want to be prepared. So this is a battery pack that I can use to power my laptop, my phone for like a few hours if the light ever goes off, or if I ever need to do something and I have to work and I have to do my calls. You have that ready. So yeah, or maybe you're going on a long road trip. Then you can have like a power bank to be able to power your phone for when your phone dies. So that's extremely important. All right. Now this one you might not need as much, but since I'm a content creator, I go through a lot of videos and they're large files. So I just usually bring a hard drive with me. And then this is my favorite speaker. I will post the links to all these things underneath this description. It's very portable, but it has a strong bass. And I just like it because sometimes I just want to jam out in the home, or I want to work out outside, or I want to go on a run and I just put it in my pocket and I just jam out to music. So that's one thing that I bring. All right, what else am I missing? Some people recommend like a rechargeable fan. I've never really quite needed that, although it's hot and humid sometimes when you get to Nigeria. A hand fan would do. A rechargeable fan is fine. But I think what's more important is at least have some sort of thing to dry your face, like a handkerchief is what they use in Nigeria. But some sort of face towel would be good. But yeah, but you can get a rechargeable fan as well if you're in a place that doesn't have stable electric. Maybe when you're sleeping at night, the rechargeable fan can be great as a backup, so you don't overheat and get too hot and sweaty. So that's another thing that I recommend that you can get electronic wise. But I'm big into electronics, so I also have my Bluetooth and all that stuff. But you don't need all of that stuff. All right, so hopefully that helps on the electronics part. So now let's go to miscellaneous items. So these are other personal items and miscellaneous items that you might need. Things like bug spray. I didn't have a lot of issues with mosquitoes, but I think mainly mosquitoes are a problem if you're hanging out at night outside, then yeah, they're gonna attack you, or towards the evening time. But during the day, it's typically not a big deal. But nevertheless, I would say, yeah, a bug spray is important, whether it's during the day, at night. Don't even trust my word for it. Bug spray would help. Mosquito repellent of some sort is good, or even when you go to sleep at night. Depending on where you're living. Deodorants, if you're used to a specific brand, get like 1 or 2 deodorants to bring with you, depending on how long you're staying. And hand sanitizer is probably good. But at the same time, I want to forewarn you guys that Lagos, Nigeria is not really, it's more developed and it has more access to things more than you think. So don't feel like you have to bring all of the stuff with you. You can easily go to a store and get a lot of these things. But if you so I recommend getting something to just get you by for like the first 3 days, first week, just till you can get acclimated to like transportation, where things are at, where to buy things. But don't feel like you have to stock up for like months if you're traveling. What else? Other miscellaneous items. I think cash is good. Ideally, you want to bring Naira and cash, so that way if you want to tip people or if you need to do a few things here and there, you have Naira to spend. One of the mistakes I made last time was I took dollars with me and I couldn't break it down. But honestly, don't feel like you have to bring Naira initially. Don't stress if you don't have it, but make sure that you at least break down your dollars. Don't bring $20 and $10 bills, then you would have no choice but to tip them high. So bring like small, like $5 bills, $1 bill, so then you can tip people dollars. Just say, sorry, I don't have Naira, but I have a few dollars with me if you take it. And just use that as a tip. For exchanging money though, it's probably better to have $100 bill. I think you get a better exchange rate from that. But honestly, don't feel like you have to bring a ton of cash or walk around with cash. We are very technologically advanced now. So you can always word remit money to yourself to go and pick up at a bank in cash, even without having any account. You can go pick up your dollars there and change it. Or you can get money wired directly to your bank account in Nigeria if you have one, or to someone else's bank account, and then they'll get the cash out for you and give you cash. So don't feel like you have to bring a ton of cash with you when you're coming home. All right, what else? First aid kit. Importante. This just has little minor random things like ibuprofen, maybe floss, maybe bandages, anti-malaria, anti-malaria or diarrhea. I think Imodium is good. When you come to Nigeria, depending on how often you are or how strong of a stomach you are, sometimes it takes a little while to get adjusted to the spices and the foods. So you might need some Imodium, some diarrhea medications before your body can adjust. Also, anti-malaria, just to kind of an extra layer of precaution from mosquitoes is also good. So I typically just put everything in here. It's all organized in one place, and that's that. What other miscellaneous item? You guys are gonna laugh at this one. A pen. Not necessarily once you're in Nigeria, we have a lot of pens. I'm mainly talking about your trip from the airport. There's been multiple times, and this has happened multiple times when I've traveled, that you need to fill out something for the custom, or you need to fill out some sort of form when you get off the plane or when you get there. And it seems that a lot of people are actually stuck because they don't have a pen. So they have to borrow somebody's pen and wait, and that could delay like your time on transiting through the airport. So I know this seems like a very simple thing, but it is gold because there's always random things that you have to fill out and sign as you're kind of departing from the airport. So make sure that you have a pen with you. It would make your airport experience better. All right. Ladies, whatever your personal items that you need, again, we have some of these in Nigeria, but make sure to get enough to get you by for like first week, so you're not stressing about it, so you figure out like your bearings and where things are at. Now, another thing that I would recommend is some sort of day bag. So I really just fold this and put it in my bag. The reason why is that when I go out and about, when I'm going to the markets or when I'm going out, I don't know, doing whatever I do, I don't like to put wallets, phone, cash, all these things in my pocket. I feel like it can easily drop off in the Uber, which I did lose my camera in the Uber once, or maybe you get pickpocketed or you lose it somewhere. It's just for better organization, and you don't have to have something this big. I feel like it's smart to have a day bag. And maybe because I'm a male, I'm not used to carrying bags, but I think women are used to carrying purses where they dump everything into. But fellas, you need something that you can carry as a backpack with you to have your cameras, your phones, your wallets, your documents, paperwork, everything that you need for when you go to Nigeria and when you're out and about. So that one was very, very, very helpful when I was in Nigeria. So I'm always with a backpack. All right. That is the miscellaneous items that I feel like you need when you go to Nigeria, or that's ideal that you can add on. Now, here's a few things that I learned last time that I went to Nigeria, and I've traveled quite a bit. I've probably been to over 12 countries, and every time I travel, I'm always learning something. So the lifestyle that we're pretty much trying to adopt now is this nomad lifestyle, which me and my family and my wife, we've been working on this for a while, which is like the ability for us to be able to live anywhere that we want, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's USA, whether it's Europe, whether it's Thailand. We wanted to have that freedom to be able to just go and live and experience and travel different places. Now, but our like life in terms of like structure is still tied to US, because we have a home in US, health insurance, my accountant, all of our mails, all that stuff predominantly is still in US. So I wanted to share some hacks. Number one, try to have your mail forwarded to like a mailbox. We use a local UPS in our area. They have like those mailboxes. You can get all your mail forwarded to it, and they can keep it for you, so your mailbox doesn't get overly full for you not being around. And also, here's another hack that you might not know. Those places, at least UPS, the one that I know, you can actually give them permission to open up your mail, scan it, and then email it to you every week or every 3 days, and they'll charge per scan or per mail for you. That was so helpful for me because there was some deadlines, there was some mails that I was receiving, or maybe like one of my lights is about to get cut off in one of my Airbnbs. Any type of notices, it's just nice to have that peace of mind that somebody's checking those mail for you, getting rid of the junk mail, and then sending you an email scanned copy of all of your mail. So that's number one travel hack for if you're going to be gone for a little bit. Number two, you need to take a picture of all of your official documents, your passports, your IDs, your credit cards, everything, just in case you lose it or it gets stolen or something like that. When you call your bank, you're able to identify what got lost, or maybe you need to make a quick transaction to kind of like get you out of like this hump. You need to be able to get somewhere. You need to pay a taxi driver, whatever the case might be. You would have access to like an idea of something that you can access in the cloud to be able to make that transaction, to be able to do what you got to do. All right. So definitely take a picture, or when you call the immigration office, or I don't know, any of these places, They might ask you, what is your passport number? So they can look it up. You won't know what it is if you don't have it physically with you. So it's always good to have a reference. All right. Now, another travel hack is to sign up with the Travel Department of the United States. This was very helpful for when the pandemic happened, where people were stuck overseas. If people would have registered with this, you would have gotten notifications for when they were having these emergency flight evacuations to bring you back, just in case if you planned to stay for a certain time and you didn't want to get stuck for that long. You can be notified, or if there's any anything that's around you, like maybe there's a danger or some sort of crazy event happening, you can get notifications on that, so you're always aware. And they'll kind of also know where you're at. Again, this is just good for safety reasons, to register for that. I think it's called step.states.gov. All right. Now, another travel hack is I made this mistake. Before word remits, I wanted to wire some money to my account. And when I called my bank, they said I needed to actually physically be there to submit my signature in person before I can call them overseas anytime to wire money to any of my accounts. So that's one thing that I recommend that you do before you leave, is to physically go into your bank, have a signature in place, and then what they'll do is they'll give you this form that has your PIN and your contact person at the bank. So whenever you need to wire any funds, especially for you guys that are dealing with like business and real estate and some transaction, you would have that need to wire. So make sure that you have that signed before you leave the country. I made that mistake and they wouldn't do it. So actually they ended up doing it, but I had to jump through a lot of hoops to like the vice president of the bank and all this stuff to sign off on it. So anyways, do that. Of course, double check your residence. If you're doing an Airbnb or hotel, just do a quick double check to make sure everything is still good. They haven't canceled. Everything is all well. Definitely check your residence for that. What other hack? Yeah, I think those are the travel hacks that I have for you guys. Lastly, guys, you're going to a place that is different from where you're probably coming from. Whether you're returning and you haven't been to Nigeria in a long time and you're going for the first time, the number one thing that I think a lot of people would agree on is that you need to have patience. Woosah. You're going to get frustrated very fast with so many things if you don't already mentally prep yourself to have patience. And this is one of my biggest frustration, is because I'm impatient sometimes. And a lot of it is because I'm used to the Western lifestyle where I have a deadline. I have times that things need to be done by. And when things are a little bit disorganized and when things don't get on time, I get a little bit frustrated. And Nigeria has really, really humbled me with that. I haven't let go yet because I feel like timing is still important to me. So the people that I work with need to know that that's extremely important. But if things are out of my control, I just try to allocate as much time for it as possible. So if something takes me an hour here, I try to think that it's going to take me 10 times longer in Nigeria. So I just set my expectations properly, so I'm not always set up for disappointment. And also, number 2, use common sense. And I know a lot of people talk about safety and all these things that's in Nigeria and scam and all of that stuff. But I think if you use common sense and you pay attention to things, I think you'll be fine. If anything is too good to be true, don't let anybody rush you into doing something. Always do your due diligence, always do your research, pay attention to the people that are surrounding you, your environment. Just use common sense and pay attention. Don't be reckless, don't let your guard down, don't be loose. No matter how much you've built relationships with people, just keep that in mind. So I think with all of these tips, if you keep this in mind and you have all your shopping list, you should have a much, much, much better experience going to Nigeria and not have to go through some of the challenges that I did. You still have challenges, but the one that you can prevent ahead of time, I would love to help you alleviate those. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you got something out of this, Please like this video. It lets me know that you enjoy it. It helps the YouTube algorithm to push it out for more people to watch this video. If there's anything that you quite didn't know, comment underneath this video. If you enjoyed this video, comment underneath this video. I love hearing from you guys. I love chatting with you guys. And lastly, remember, it's your time to rise and let your light shine. Peace, guys. Bye.